Oh my God!
Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Here's a story about
no. What's up, Phillip?
Yo.
What's up, Beefhead?
Hello, and welcome to a wonderful 2020, which may be my first appearance of the decade.
True.
The Real Whovians cast. Number 6.
1,719.
I call it number 6, but
Yeah, I know. What's up, Ben? What's up, Elijah?
Hey.
What's up, Matt?
Welcome back. Round 2 tonight.
What's up, Connor?
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.
Shalom, Jackie. Shalom.
So let's talk some Spyfall and Orphan 55 and
Orphan 55.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
That's what it's called. The next episode tomorrow. Well, for them now, hours, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, for us today.
Yeah. So I didn't get your reaction, Phillip, from the second part of Spyfall, really.
In short, I preferred episode 1 over this one. In short,
I did too.
Yeah.
Why you sound like that though? What perplexes you?
nothing. It was just not. It was just not jointed. But it was disjointed to a certain level.
Is it because of what I told you, Phil? Is
Probably.
it because where I said this shit did not work?
It did not work. Yeah.
Utopia, Sound of Drums, Army of Ghosts, like a whole mixture.
No. Curse of the Fatal Death.
Yes. Seemed like he took from a lot of different.
As much as you'd like to retcon Muffet, you'd like to nick a little bit of it here when it suits you.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, would you like me to tell you how I found episode?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure you've done like about.
Well, I'd like to hear what you would think of the first part, also.
Okay. Well, I don't want to like muddy the waters because you've probably got like 100 videos on episode 1. Being as prolific as you are.
Oh wow.
Right, episode 1 was good for what it was. Like I say, it was a step up, but then again, you weren't stepping up from much, to be honest with you. Did it do what it did as a James Bond pastiche? Yes. Did I find the car chase, the bike chase, a bit of padding? Yes, I did. I would have rather had more plot development than I would have had just like flashy set pieces, to be honest with you.
And that's all they had.
And that was it. Well, I'm not even saying that was all they had, but it was just a case of that. One thing I would say with part 1, the reveal was good. I'm sorry, but whether you like it or lump it, whatever, I do feel the reveal was good. Sacha Dhawan was good. The humour falls flat for me because I just don't think the comedy works. Chibnall cannot do comedy. Last season proved to me that
Doctor Who.
comedy, I don't know whether Jodie emotes the same amount of comedic feel that perhaps previous iterations have had. But anyway, that's episode 1 for me.
Okay.
It was passable and it was a step up.
Okay.
Episode 2
I
for
felt
me.
something passing in with part 2.
Episode 2, like Phil was saying, fell apart for me.
It was like all over the place.
No, not that at all.
For me.
No, I'll tell you what is. Episode 2, there was a lot of people liked this, and a lot of people thought it was fan. A lot of people liked it because there was a lot of fan service. And my problem was the fan service with this, and sloppiness, for want of a better description. Because the thing is, fan service is good, but if you're servicing the story and it falls in with the story, it didn't. The World War II thing should not have been there.
No, I agree.
If you wanted to have Noor Inayat Khan in there, then do it as an episode on its own. Then you are not going to give it a superficial take on the story because it was a completely superficial take.
They wanted a female-centric episode.
No,
And
Scott. Please let me finish, because actually it's not, because it's easy to say, hey, do you know what? We're going to put a girl team together and everything like that, and it's not as simple as that. To be honest with you,
Charlie's Angels.
no, it's not anxious or anything like that. But it's a case of there's a lot of jumps and stuff that is done off screen. Right, and the thing is, the motivation of Barton is, well, I've got unresolved parent issues with my mom. That's just like a really sloppy way to do it. Do you mind wipe your characters at the end of that? That's a sloppy quick fix to do it as well. So your motivation for Barton is missing. Your motivation of the Kasavin is, we've run out of iCloud storage. So then it's a case of, well, hang on a second. The Doctor is going to use the Kasavin as a gateway. They get pulled back to where Ada is. That's fine, because the Silver Lady is there. Then the Artron energy interferes with how the gateway works. So why do you end up in the Second World War, apart from to do Morse code, heartbeat of a Time Lord, contact, everything like that, and also to put put the Master in a Nazi uniform to reinforce the idea that he's bad. If I was to do it, and this is me, I'm Joe Schmo on the street, but if I was to do it, I would follow the Silver Lady, because then that would make sense about that's the magnet that is attracting the Kasabian through every point in history, and then that's how the Doctor puts it together, because the only way that the Doctor puts the story together is that when she goes into the Master's TARDIS, he's got his browser history and tabs open and sees that the Silver Lady has gone through all these different people in time.
So basically a multi-Falcon-esque episode.
Well, it just shows you how the computing works, and it's basically where he's left his browsing tabs open. It would be a better idea to say, I will follow you. You follow the Silver Lady. That's how they're working it. But even then, the idea of I've just not got enough iCloud storage as an invading force of an aliens. It just don't do it for me. So it does fall apart. I think the Naughty Nut Khan was not needed, and also it didn't really do her any favours.
So she was basically a distraction more than a...
Well, it's also the case of the mind wipe. We've done this before. We've done the mind wipe before.
Yes.
We did it with Donna. And then when we got to do it with Clara...
We also did it with the girl in the fireplace, too.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was no...
No, they didn't.
There was no mind wipe.
There was no mind wipe with that.
There was no mind wipe.
Was it? Hang on.
No, there was they saw each other's mind.
That's
But
right.
there was no mind wipe.
That's right.
But when most recently, when they went to do the mind wipe with Clara, she says, "Oh, hang on a second, you ain't doing that with me," and everything like that. So we've already addressed that, and that is sort of like an attack or a infringement of personal space or whatever. But it's a case of it's just sloppy and it's quick fix. It's easy retcon.
They were coming to the end of the episode and they needed something quick.
Yeah, that's it. For me, it felt like, well, do you know what? Yeah, we're going to do this big Gallifrey reveal, so we need to fucking work this up. We're going to do a lot of stuff off there. Oh, you know that thing with the Silver Lady? Well, yeah, we went into Daniel Barton's thing about 6 months ago with all the security cameras, which he picked up Yaz and...
That's the problem I had.
On, but
she
obviously
didn't do the hallway, but not that main room.
Pick me up going in and doing my little thing with the statue and everything like that. So it's really sloppy and falls apart. There's nothing. Look, I'm not going to fault the actors on the second episode because I don't think that's fair. The story falls apart. The writing and the story is not good because we want to put in the heartbeat of a Time Lord. Well, how do we do that? Oh, let's do that. Yeah, Morse code, that works well. Okay, where would they have used Morse code? Well, probably in wartime. Okay, where are we going to do? Where's it going to fit in and everything like that? It's a case of making something to be a means to an end to get to that end point rather than servicing the story.
They took the long road opposed to the short road.
No, it's not even the long road or the short road. It's a case of making sense within the story. It's plot pointing it and saying, how does the character get to this? How does a character discover this?
Right.
How do they figure this out? And that's the thing where it fell apart for me. That there was not. It didn't service the story.
Right.
It serviced the end point.
Well, what about the whole? Did he even watch Hellbent? Because they escaped the pocket universe. Like the Time Lords communicated with a Shelder regularly, giving her a confession dial. If they were in a pocket universe, they wouldn't be able to communicate and hand her the damn device. And it doesn't work like that. Even Missy said that they escaped the pocket universe. They got out of the pocket universe. And in Hellbent, they were out of the pocket universe. They were at the end of time, at the end of the universe. So how does he just mess up something like that?
Was it really said that they were still in the pocket universe, though? They never said that
They said in Chibnall's thing that they're in the pocket universe.
Yeah, they were still in the pocket universe.
Sasha Dewan's master.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does. He says
he does.
that. Which
Does that conflict with what Missy said, though?
Yes. Because Missy, by the time Missy came around, they were out of the pocket universe. She gave him false coordinates. But he went there knowing that she just said they're out of the pocket universe, and they weren't there. It wasn't until Hellbent that he actually saw them and he's with them outside the pocket universe.
But even
that's a big plot hole, though.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But but what I've said to you about Skyfall Part 2 is the whole episode, the whole structure, it sort of falls apart in the middle because you're not doing that. You're actually you're trying to do fan service to win over people and try to reunify things.
I think they went overboard with the fan service
by doing the heartbeat of the Time Lord, heartbeat of the Time Lord. The contact thing, the classic. I'm all about the classics. It was very heavy-handed and not actually servicing the story. It's a case of looking to when you're doing the story and making the story. It's a case of I wonder what the fan reaction on Twitter or online is going to be, as opposed to just writing the story.
Right.
And that's how Part 2 felt for me.
And what about the timeless child thing that appeared? What do you think about? What is your take on that?
Until I see it, I don't. Until I fully see it, I don't know. Obviously, the speculation is that this is not going to be something that is going to be this year. This is something that is going to be the following
Series 13.
Go on.
Think about what the Master said about that, though, when he was explaining to the Doctor about that. He made it out like they weren't actually Time Lords. They were
exactly. And then she said she was born on Gallifrey. She didn't say she was a Gallifreyan. Like, when she told Yaz and all them, she was born on Gallifrey.
What it said is everything is built on a lie. The Time Lords, everything is built on a lie. Now, whether that builds into previous mythos or whatever, I don't know.
Right.
But it is like we had this in episode 2 of the first season. This is episode 2 of the second season. This is foreshadowing. My gut feeling is that this is foreshadowing about what is going to be the end of it, which is going to be that her sacrifice and whatever leads to her regeneration is going to be her sacrifice that leads to her regeneration will be the Time Lords back, the timeline restored, and everything like that. So she will forever be cemented in the mythos of Doctor Who.
Right.
That's
my feeling.
How
they get there, I don't know.
The question is how much of that timeless child storyline is going to affect the changes of Doctor Who itself as a show.
We don't know because we don't know the ins and outs of it, though, do we?
No, yeah, but
hopefully it isn't what we think it is. Like massively retconning the classic series.
You could. The thing is, Radio Times did an article that said, well, it could be that they have basically stolen the ability to regenerate from another race and adopted it as their own. That can be done without really screwing the pooch.
Right.
You can
the regeneration energy thing, yes.
Yeah, the ways and means by which they got the ability to do that. The Time Lords are not whiter than white. This is completely canon because we've had that through the years. Obviously, there are other speculations and rumors of previous regeneration cycles and everything like that. If that happens, then it will fall a different way, and it won't fit.
They can do that though, just to explain the beginnings of how they got regeneration. They can, because they can say, well, this is how it started out, and this is what we did for regeneration. Then obviously they temper with it a bit, tweak it a bit. So it's all...
Elijah, you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, 1 second here. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. Keep talking.
Let's wait and see.
I'll see if I can get it working.
Anyway, I've done a lot of talking. Let someone else talk.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's see what this is.
There you go,
This is a good talking point. This was posted on Gallifrey, or on Gallifrey base, and this was posted around August, and they were correct with Sasha Dewan being the master, and they posted this. So go ahead and read it, and we can discuss it.
I'll read it in my best BBC tones. I feel the only thing I can explain without being murdered is the child in time. I'm still shocked that the root chibnall has gone down. The child in time is the Doctor themselves, and is their first life per se. As a child, they were unkillable and could regenerate endlessly. Found on an unknown planet, they were taken back to Gallifrey, where their abilities allowed Gallifreyans to become Time Lords. The character Ruth is apparently an earlier life of the Doctor. I appreciate this sounds like the Virgin books from during the hiatus, but believe me when I say that if this is true, and if it's anything like how my source explained it, the entire fandom will explode. I'm sure.
So that's what
I think this is baloney, because they didn't become the Time Lords because of that. They became the Time Lords because Rassilon's experiment that created time travel and gave them the ability to create time travel, that sent him to the antimatter universe, but also created the TARDIS in the first place. So that's how they became Time Lords, not because of the regeneration energy.
Yeah, but what if Chibnall trying to change all that and make it his own kind of genesis?
And he's going to fuck up Doctor Who.
Well, let's get with. I'm going to talk to Ben. I want to talk to Matt. I want to talk to Connor. Then we can go to Elijah, because we didn't hear from them yet. So Ben, what do you think of? You saw Spyfall 1 and 2. What'd you think?
Part 1 was good. Part 2 was kind of all over the place, but overall the Master was good.
Yeah. Okay. Connor?
Well, I'm not gonna smile bait you again, where I said that the episode was shit, and then you find me out that on another podcast I said it was good. It was all right, actually. I enjoyed part 1 immensely. Part 2 was great. It set up a lot of stuff that it almost feels like, the more I think about it, it's more Chibnall's attempt at being Moffat for an episode.
Right.
He's given himself a challenge, I think, and a big one, because this is a mighty big storyline, and all that stuff that we've just read there I've heard before.
Right.
And if any of that comes to fruition, then you are changing, or you are meddling with the DNA of the show.
Right.
And that is a showrunner's job. It's his show at the moment. He can do whatever he wants with it. And I think that any move he takes, you can agree with it, you can disagree with it, but he's actually got permission from showrunner to take that creative license with it.
Well, but there's a problem with that, though, because Russell T. Davies, there was someone that existed that Russell T. Davies didn't have full permission to call the woman at the end of time the Doctor's mother. He got rejected by someone that was higher up connected with Doctor Who that said, no, you can't do that. So is there anybody like that still exists that could tell him, no, you can't do that because you will reveal too much about the Doctor, where you won't question Doctor Who anymore, because you'll know that the Doctor is Ruth and it was a girl and this and that, and you take all the mystery out of it. So there's got to be somebody that still exists.
There is a certain, and I can, to kind of equate it to something, I can kind of get that, where you kind of, you don't want it to be demystified, because James Bond, for example, the last few films have demystified James Bond as a character. So it's kind of, it is the same thing where if you demystify the Doctor, I can see why hardcore fans would be irritated by that, and
it would be pointless to have the show at all, because
it was something that me and Connor talked about the other night, wasn't it? About all the stuff about Listen, about seeing the Doctor as a kid and Clara grabbing his ankle. There was all this massive thing about we you don't really need to see the Doctor's childhood, because you do want to have that sort of unexplained mystery to it. And the thing is, part of the allure of the Doctor is that you don't know the full story, because then it takes the mystique out of it.
It's so. I think that, like, as a showrunner, he's got to make an impression. And
from a personal point of view, they want to put their stamp on it as well.
Yeah, he won. There is a lot of. It'd be interesting to kind of like see what a showrunner these days kind of think, because we've got social media and stuff like that now, where the reaction is more prominent and in your face than ever before. So I guess kind of like taking massive risks must come with some form of trepidation. But, Moffat did it relatively. He obviously got a lot of hate, but he didn't do it with any sort of fear for what people would think. So it'd just be interesting to see if Chibnall would be cavalier about it, really, and kind of make those big changes.
But could you do it without... I understand we call it fan service, right? But it was like, if you really look at the second part, it was really like Utopia, Sound of Drums, Last Episode, like that whole thing with the Master, you're on the run for your life. Like,
there was a lot of, I think, fan service with regards to, if you're a fan of Russell T Davies and you like The Sound of Drums, you may also like Skyfall Part 2.
It had the atmosphere of a finale, I thought. That as I was watching it, I was constantly thinking...
It was all build-up. It was all build-up.
Yeah, this could easily be a finale.
This could have been a better three-parter, I think. It felt like the second one was kind of mush.
I don't know if it could be a three. Personally, I don't know if they could have pulled it off.
Nor should have been a separate episode on its own, outside of the story, to be honest with you, to do her the proper service.
Well, they filmed an execution scene. Now, why did they do that?
Because it didn't serve the story. Nor did mind wiping her, to be honest with you. Because mind wipe is a quick fix. To be honest with you, if you had done an episode that was pure Nur Inyat Khan, and you did not mind wipe her, and the Doctor knew what her fate was to be, because she says that she's familiar with her story, then that would have given it more poignancy. Which it didn't. It just made it very superficial. You go, hey, guess what? Yeah, you're the first female operator. And you know what? Anyone who watches it, they've got no impetus now to go and look who she was. Right. Never mind the fact that what she was and what she did and how her fate was, because there's no impetus for anyone to go up and do that follow-up too.
The problem with making this a third three-parter I'm seeing is they would have been saving so much stuff for that third part that second part and even the first part probably would have suffered even greater.
Well, I just thought it was kind of
by keeping it a two-parter, it helps prevent it from becoming the first two parts being lackluster.
I think the interesting part about the Timeless Child storyline is that we're not talking about Gallifrey from a present point of view. We are going back to the founding fathers, as the Master alluded to.
Right.
So we're going back to a period of time where we haven't really explored.
I just don't want them to say that Gallifrey is actually people from Earth are humans, and it's all a lie, and it's not really a different race, and that they stole the technology for regeneration energy. They created the TARDISes, and it was just they're not anything special. They were just humans.
The founding fathers. Do we even know who they are by name?
Yeah, Rassilon, Omega, and the other.
So I think you're going to have Rassilon come back. I think you're going to have Omega come back, and I think you're going to have that other one.
Yeah, the other one's meant to be the Doctor, apparently, before he became the Doctor.
Well, if you remember Sylvester McCoy's episode,
yeah, he did say
they said there was a few instances where the villain knew the Doctor and said that you were from the old, ancient times of Gallifrey.
Oh, is that the other?
Yeah, that's the other. That's him, the Doctor.
Well, there you go then. I think that's going to play a part in
That's why I think that the Timeless Child is the Doctor herself, or himself, or whatever.
Well, the Timeless Child's a girl.
Yeah, that could be another one of her.
I mean, I freeze framed that it was a girl.
Yeah,
I can tell you I don't see gender.
I do think that Omega is going to appear in.
I don't know. I don't think they go that far.
I thought they're not allowed to use him.
I thought
because Omega's. If they use Omega, it's got to be pre-black hole business. It had to be Omega before he got sucked into.
But they were supposed to be making a canine big.
Well, right, they had the rights to be right. Doctor Who wasn't allowed.
I thought that they didn't own the rights to K9 and
the Rani and Syl, and there's so many other stuff where it's attributed to personal writers and everything like that.
Brigadier also, right? It was Brigadier family also.
You don't want to get into anything like that, to be honest with you. It will just be the Timeless Child is a means to an end, and explaining that this is why you have this. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll find out. And but for me, it's a crapshoot. It's playing fast and loose. It's a showrunner wanting to put their stamp in. It's a legacy stamp, for want of a better description.
I have a question with the ratings, though. The ratings are dropping now, right? Now, there's no excuse for what's happening.
No, they're not. They're not dropping. They're actually kind of staying quite stable.
They are now.
I think Doctor Who will always be a plateau as far as ratings are concerned. I really do think these days it's a plateau until there's a real tectonic shift. That it's a case of the people who have watched it and sustained it for all the time. So the biggest thing with Doctor Who viewing figures for me is actually the casual viewer. Because the casual viewer will come and they will go, because there is always a
that's why I'm saying
core base.
That's why I'm saying that the ratings are, as you said,
plateau, they're level.
The only people that are watching it that are making the ratings are people that are into Doctor Who. The people like everyday people that are not really Doctor Who fans. They're not going to sit and watch it. It's for people that like Doctor Who.
I had an easier time watching it was on Saturday. Sundays I work, so it's a little more difficult. But still, I do watch it.
People who have always watched Doctor Who will make time to
find a way to watch it. Right?
Yeah.
Matt, did you want to say anything? Because I know you didn't say anything yet.
No, I covered my bits in the earlier podcast, but I just quite enjoyed it, as I said to you.
There we go. Cashback. Yeah.
Phillip, do you want to say more?
Yeah.
Only the fact that there was something I wanted to have forgotten it now, to be honest with all this conversation.
So, like the third episode, I mean,
hang on.
this? Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about this two-part is the fact that it was so divorced from episode 1. Episode 1 was all about spy stuff and then you just jumped into this different scenario in episode 2, and it just kind of divorced itself from the Spyfall element.
Correct.
And it went to something else. It's like, okay, so they just jumped all the spy stuff.
Matt, I'm asking you a question, Phil. Yeah, what you think personally? Right. If you were a casual viewer to Doctor Who,
yeah,
the first episode will probably work because there's no complexity to it. It's like a James Bond pastiche. It's a
that would have hooked you in.
Yeah, that's it. Do you think the casual viewer would come back on and watch the second one? Because there's a lot of jumping about. There is a lot of jumping about.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd come? Do you think that would retain them?
When you say casual viewer, you got to understand.
Like, no, someone who's never watched Doctor Who before. This is their first ever episode.
They're going to have questions. Who's this master? What's this thing about?
Well, you would think that would get them back for the second episode. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No. And
that's why because you don't get that exposition of who the master is.
Because it's just like you go out for the second one and you think, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna switch off. There's too much thing that I'm not even clued up about until you go, right, I'm off on that one. And I think that's why we had the drop a second time on the second one a little bit more, because people just thought, nah, this is not for me.
Yeah, but is the next episode for them? It looks kind of weird, the next episode.
Yeah, but that's Doctor Who. As anybody that knows Doctor Who knows it's always like that. There's always some sort of weirdness to it. It's just the point where you're invested to come back next time and watch it.
See, my thing is, if you're going to have a big...
More than just wanting to come back and see it.
Are they all going to be home runs, or is there going to be are we
going to have... Right, if we're going to have 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're all going to be like fillers. And then 8, 9, and 10 are going to be like oh my God moments, and then leading into the special.
And the 9th and 10th is going to be a lead up to the
when is the Cyberman episode? Episode 8?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because I wasn't looking at my watch thinking, when is the episode going to be over? Which I did with the previous season.
Right.
I just watched it and ran with it.
I enjoyed the first bit.
No, but what I'm saying is, last year it got a bit like, oh, is this nearly
Come
finished?
on, let's go, right. Yeah.
Maybe next week it'll be something better. Whereas this one, you watched it, and you got to the end of it, and it was a case of, did you enjoy your meal or did you not enjoy your meal?
Right.
It was that sort of thing. Yeah. And we don't know about the rest of them until we get there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because they've only got
what's coming up tomorrow looks a bit of a sort of a filler.
Filler.
It does.
I thought so too. I think the 4th one's with the scorpion thing, right?
And that one, I think, given what it is you can see there's a different production level going on, whereas this is going a green.
More money spent.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes, where's the money going?
Right, like we ran out of money for the Master's TARDIS because it was a garage.
So we spent all
like a tablecloth talking about the timeless child, right?
We spent all our money on an exploding plane. It is what it is when we see it and everything like that. Do you know what? You could have looked at the trailer for Midnight and said, do you know what? That looks like a filler episode.
Well, not for nothing. They spent all the money and he tried to figure out what to do, and that was a genius episode. That was a really good episode.
Yeah.
And you could find that with tomorrow's. We don't know till we see it. But
now there's a cliffhanger supposedly. They announced tonight. I mean, do you think they're going to have Sacha Dhawan appear in the last?
I think that's the case.
15 seconds that he escaped and.
Sacha Dhawan. I don't think you'll see Sacha Dhawan until the back third.
Those aliens were. He wasn't.
They might make him like Missy. He appears in this episode, that episode, that episode. Like seconds here and there.
There's no point in seeing him tomorrow because it doesn't add anything to the story because it's a puff piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's the lead. Yeah, but then if they show him tomorrow, then that's leading him into the next one beyond.
Well, why couldn't the timeless child be all bull crap and just be that when Missy touched his hand, she implanted that thought in his head, like that?
I think what it will be is another aspect of the Gallifrey timeless child storyline will be played into it, maybe.
Yeah, they've got to build it up.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah, so for example, like I said, I think Omega's going to appear. He might not appear in tomorrow's episode, but there might be a hint that, he's around.
Or maybe it gets him out of where he's at, the Master.
There might be like an antimatter sort of
Escape.
Oh, so we're going to be the Fourth Doctor adventure again.
I mean, you might get the Master out of there. I mean, here's the thing. You don't even know what rumblings they had with Omega during the Time War. Like I said, when the Time War was happening, all rules were out the window. Whoever's going to help us, let's go. Bring Rassilon back, give him regenerations, give him the Master regeneration. Let's get Omega, let's get everybody. We got to beat the Daleks. Let's go. Unlimited regenerations. Let's go. I mean, they could have been talking them the whole time.
Yes, to remember, we don't know.
It's not like we're playing an arcade game on free play.
Right.
But we don't know where Omega is. Omega still in the antimatter universe, and
yes,
or has he come back into?
Are we talking about Arc of Infinity now?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
He's still in the antimatter universe. But
you don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
You pay your monies, you take your chances.
What fascinates me is that Sean Bean is apparently supposed to be appearing in this series.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he can't be playing Amiga because he'll, otherwise he'd have to die.
He'll die.
He always dies in everything he does.
Yeah.
Now they're going to give Sean Bean a big role, so if he does appear, who's he going to play? So it might be
the red shirt.
Maybe it will. Maybe one of the episodes will center around Gallifrey's past. So
the Time Lord guarding the Timeless Child.
Yeah. So
the Timeless Child could be from the far future. It doesn't even have to. They're time travel.
Sean Bean's going to be the Castellan because how many of those have we bloody had?
Well, we'll be back. Unfortunately we're on a time limit, so we'll be right back. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.